Cleanup efforts underway.
Pump stations are working. We're continually checking the drains.
After flash flooding in Essex. Tracing the final steps of Sahra Bulle. New video evidence presented to the jury shows the last time she was seen alive. And beating bottlenecks.
If you want to save time and reduce your travel time, use Zipper Merge.
City officials encouraging it, but not everyone is convinced.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us both on CTV Windsor and AM 800. A sudden drenching of heavy rain today overwhelmed a very localized area in the county, triggering flash flooding that swamped roads and seeped into basements. The intense downpour falling in a short span of time met ground too dry to absorb the water. Let's go now to Harrow, where CTV's Robert Lothian is standing by tonight. And Robert, what do you see right now?
Yeah, Stephanie, I'm sitting actually just along County Road 50, where a good stretch of this road has been closed for most of today. This again in due part because it was heavily hit by today's rain, leaving the road mostly covered. Crews from the town of Essex continue to make their way through the region, assessing for any lingering damage and safety risks.
Stations at Belcraft Beach, around Harrow working. We're continually checking the drains because we know that a lot of water can bring the debris up and move it around. So we're checking that.
Torrential downpours in parts of the county yielded 50 to 100 millimeters of rainfall. Flooding closed parts of County Road 50, with engineers declaring a road failure at County Road 50 and Pleasure Beach, in part due to erosion. In addition, County Road 32 at Gore was flooded over, with the runoff flooding nearby residential properties. Residents described sheets of rain that lasted for about an hour.
There was supposed to be changes in infrastructure is what I read, and I'm not sure if that happened or not, but here we are again in the same situation. The town's underwater, and we're screaming for help. I don't know if anybody's hearing us.
Now, at this hour, the priority, according to the town of Essex, is to prioritize your own safety. This may include not driving through areas that are still flooded or avoiding your basement if you believe it could still be a risk due to electrical wires that may have been affected. Stephanie.
A very frustrating time for some of the residents over there. Okay, Robert Lothian in Harrow for us tonight. Thank you, Robert. With more on this, CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us for a first look at the weather from the top of the Bell Building tonight. Gary.
Stefanie, the potent storms that rolled through parts of extreme southwestern Ontario were very localized, meaning some areas within even a half-kilometer of the worst of this rainfall event didn't see much of anything other than just steady rain. But for those areas that did get hit hard, as we look towards the east, as this storm continues to march towards the southern eastern flank of the province, we're talking about roads being washed out, obviously some pumps being overworked, flooded residences, and we're not completely out of the woods because there's a second layer in the atmosphere, a boundary that's headed our way, and it could be, well, some more rain on areas that are super saturated right now. This developing late tonight into tomorrow. Break down what you need to know as we look ahead towards the weekend. It's all coming up shortly. For now, I'll send it back inside to you at the desk.
Video of what may have been the last time Sahra Bulle was seen alive was shown to the jury today in the trial of a Michigan man accused of murdering his estranged wife. The video shows Sahra Bulle entering a West Windsor motel room and never coming out. Today's testimony also detailing Uber records linked to the case that shows what Brian Marbury did the days following that video. CTV's Travis Fortnum was in court today.
In surveillance video played for the jury Wednesday, a woman believed to be Sahra Bulle enters room 27 at the Bestway Motel on the night of Friday, May 26, 2023. It's the last time she's ever seen alive. Her ex-husband, 47-year-old Brian Marbury, is on trial for her murder. The jury watching a series of videos Wednesday, videos showing Marbury leaving that same room days later, buying a shovel and buying bleach in garbage bags. Windsor Police Sergeant Michelle Palacia testified she helped trace Bulle's final steps. Records show Marbury's Uber account called for the ride, picking her up from Hiatus House and dropping her at the motel. Palacia also tied a pink phone case found near the motel's trash to one Bulle is seen carrying as she enters room 27. Testifying, Bulle is never seen leaving that room alive. But Marbury is described by Palacia to be carrying an item over his shoulder resembling a body, wrapped in garbage bags and a sheet. He comes back almost 2 hours later, just before 4:30 a.m., with only the sheet. The trial is slated to resume Thursday and run into October. Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
A pedestrian has died after a serious collision near downtown. Police say a vehicle eastbound on Hannah Street drove through a stop sign at Windsor Avenue. The force of the collision pushed both vehicles towards the northwest corner, where a pedestrian walking on the sidewalk was struck. The 58-year-old man was taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police say he has now died. The collision is under investigation. If anyone has any surveillance or dash cam footage of the collision, you are asked to contact Windsor Police. The injuries were less severe this morning in a collision involving a vehicle and a motorcyclist. The crash happened just after 5:30 this morning on the EC Row eastbound off-ramp at Dougal. Police say the driver of the vehicle fled the scene but was located shortly afterwards. The driver of the motorcycle was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say charges are anticipated but have not been laid as of yet. The area was closed for a few hours for this investigation. Damage to a downtown Windsor business is estimated at $300,000 following a fire. Fire crews were called to the 600 block of Glengarry Avenue just before 9 Tuesday night. Investigators from Windsor Fire and Rescue and the Windsor Police Arson Squad examined the scene today, trying to determine the cause and origin of the fire. Officials say no one was hurt. And the search is continuing for David Pavao. The 37-year-old has been missing since August 14th. Melanie Kentner has the last known images of Pavao and where police say he vanished from without a trace in her Crime Stoppers report tonight.
Yeah, I'm with Rick Surratt from Crime Stoppers. Rick, what can you tell us about the missing man?
Well, the missing man is a Windsor resident, 37-year-old David Pavao, who has not been seen by friends or loved ones since the 14th of August. The Windsor Police Service is working tirelessly in locating David, and we're appealing to the public for any information that would be of value to assist investigators in finding David.
And where was he last seen?
Well, we're standing here in the area of Wells and Brock Street. It's in the area southwest of Huron Church and College. It's the last area that David was last reported being seen on the 14th of August at approximately 2 o'clock in the morning.
And what is the latest on the search or the investigation?
Well, officers with the Windsor Police Service are working relentlessly with respect to this investigation. They're turning over every stone to see every possible lead. But we're appealing to the public that may have information, and even if they think that the information is meaningless, still send it out to the Windsor Police Service, or if you prefer to be anonymous, you can reach out to us at Windsor Crime Stoppers.
What is that contact information?
Well, you can call us at 1-800-222-TIPS, or you can reach out to us on our website at catchcrooks.com or through the Crime Stoppers app at p3.com, p3tips.com. And by doing those two avenues, you can provide us dash cam footage, screen captures, surveillance footage, things like that we can receive through online tips.
Sounds good. Thanks, Rick. And that's your Crime Stoppers report.
A warning to motorists. LaSalle will fully close busy stretches of Malden Road to allow for lengthy construction projects starting next summer.
There is a, pot of gold at the end of that rainbow, and we're all going to appreciate it when we get there, but it's going to be painful getting there.
Council approving the decision last night, paving the way for at least 12 months of construction. This will add a new lane, more traffic signals and crosswalks along Malden between Cahill Bridge and Rim Road. Council opted against a partial closure that would keep one lane open at a time. The town is expected to save about 2 months of added work and $725,000. Road work will be split into 2 6-month phases, stopping for the winter. Plans include access points and detours for residents to reach their homes and for businesses to remain open.
So the least amount of time we can impact the residents, I think, is probably better, because it's sounding like if we kept that open, that is going to be even more frustrating for them, and it's even longer. So it just was the best that we could do in a very difficult situation.
And that won't be the only construction area slowing down drivers. The city reminding those behind the wheel there's a better way to merge when navigating through those lane closures. CTV's Chris Campbell explains how the zipper merge works and why officials say it makes driving safer and, of course, Chris, faster.
Yes, Stephanie, the City of Windsor is encouraging motorists to embrace the zipper merge, a method where both lanes are used fully right up until the merge point or one lane is closed. Then drivers alternate one after the other like teeth in a zipper. It may feel counterintuitive, but experts say it can cut congestion by nearly half.
The city's infrastructure department says too many drivers merge too early, believing it's the polite thing to do. But studies show that causes longer lineups, sudden lane changes, and more frustration.
The need is quite simple. If you want to save time and reduce your travel time, you zipper merge.
In a media release, city engineer David Simpson says using the zipper merge isn't just smarter, it's safer. Simpson said when drivers wait until the designated merge point and alternate like teeth in a zipper, traffic flows more efficiently and everyone gets where they're going faster.
Everyone, please be courteous, please be Canadian, and please zipper merge.
Ward 7 Councillor Angelo Marignani shares that sentiment. We joined him for a drive through a construction zone to test the zipper merge.
And we're going to drive right up to the front and let's see if courteous drivers allow for the merge. Now, right at the point of the merge, you pull in.
But it's being courteous, you know, just, you're not, I understand you want to get in the lane and build and stay back, but what happens is confusion happens at the point of the bottleneck, and that confusion actually slows down the flow in comparison to if everyone were to follow that simple zipper merge. Yeah,
in there.
There we go.
We're in the merge.
That was pretty painless right there.
Yeah, really.
But not everyone is convinced.
It's a little nerve-wracking. You don't want to get hit, so you know it's your turn to go, but you're watching other people, making sure that they're not going to run into you.
And it's sad because things would go so much quicker if people just in and out, done.
I mean, I think a lot of people don't like it because somebody's going in front of them, right? So they're waiting in line. It's like everybody wait in line, but I think it's better for moving traffic. But people get mad when you go by them, so.
The city says the zipper merge can reduce backups by up to 40% while improving safety and fairness on the road.
And I've spoken with our traffic engineers, and we will be employing signage to indicate to people that the zipper merge is coming.
Officials are reminding drivers to watch for that signage and take turns at the merge point. They say the biggest challenge isn't the merge itself, it's changing driver habits. Stephanie?
Okay, so here's our challenge that we have for our viewers. Give the zipper merge a try. Chris Campbell tonight, thank you for this. So here's our question of the day. Do you zipper merge or do you wait in line? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we told you Ontario's minimum wage is going up to $17.60 an hour on October 1st. We asked if you think that is high enough. Out of more than 1,000 responses, 51% say yes. Meantime, at Leamington Council, 2 projects of note were awarded. First, the town is going to spend more than $9 million to rebuild Seacliff Drive. This project has been ongoing for more than 10 years with a cost of more than $50 million, which officials say will help the town expand and grow for the next 4 decades. Also, Leamington District Secondary School, which is now empty, will be torn down by Salandria Limited. The work will cost more than $822,000. However, the town must also spend $640,000 to relocate the chimney swift bird habitat from the school's chimney. Administrators reiterating it's not something the town wants to do. It's something they must do under both provincial and federal laws by March of next year.
You already lose a single season when you remove that habitat, and they want the habitat restored as soon as possible. Typically, you get sort of one window because they're a migratory bird.
Still ahead on Windsor's news leader, a shooting at a Dallas ICE facility leaves 2 people dead and 1 in critical condition. Grounded promises. When we return, Air Canada is flying again, but some say the airline's promises never took off.
Start your day with the latest local news. By signing up for our newsletter, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Developing news out of Texas, where there's been a shooting at a federal immigration facility in Dallas. Law enforcement officials told ABC that 3 detainees were shot and at least 1 has died on what's being called a targeted act of violence. The shooter died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Officials are still trying to figure out the motive. This is the 3rd shooting at an immigration center in Texas this year. In July, a police officer was shot in the neck during an attack. He survived. In a forum built to pursue peace, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky asked for continuing support from the members of the United Nations to defend itself against Russia. This comes one day after U.S. President Donald Trump's remarkable U-turn when he said he believed Ukraine could win the war. CTV's Judy Trin reports from the United Nations headquarters in New York.
We are now living through the most destructive arms race in human history.
Even as Ukraine's president warned about the escalating dangers of unchecked AI-controlled drones, Volodymyr Zelensky said the less advanced version of the weapons was enabling his country to hold back Moscow's might.
Ukraine doesn't have the big fat missiles dictators love to show off in parades, but we do have drones that can fly up to 2,000-3,000 kilometers.
Zelensky cited success in destroying Russian assets in the Black Sea and key infrastructure. His comments come as the American president takes a harsher tone toward the Kremlin. In the past week, Russian drones and fighter jets have flown into the airspace of Poland and Estonia, NATO members.
Do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
After Tuesday's face-to-face, Donald Trump made a remarkable U-turn. He posted on social media that after getting to understand the Ukraine-Russia military economic situation, he now believes Ukraine can win back all of its territory. Previously, Trump had said ending the war would require Ukraine giving up territory it had lost. The prime minister said that Vladimir Putin had proven he could not be trusted.
The president, however, has made very sincere and multiple efforts to try to establish peace. He has used his relationship, long-standing relationship with President Putin in those efforts to try to establish peace. Putin has failed on every occasion, every opportunity.
Trump has called on nations to put secondary sanctions on countries that buy Russian oil. Prime Minister Mark Carney said G7 countries are discussing such economic measures to put additional pressure on Putin to end the war. Judy Trin, CTV News, New York.
Canadian privacy watchdogs say TikTok didn't do enough to keep underage children off the platform. Federal and provincial authorities say they found hundreds of thousands of kids using the platform, despite it not being meant for people under 13. The findings also indicated that the efforts to prevent the collection and use of those children's personal information was inadequate. In a statement, a TikTok spokesperson says they disagree with some of the findings, but remain committed to transparency and privacy practices. Now, it's been more than a month since an Air Canada strike led to the cancellation of flights around the world. CTV News recently put out a call to viewers asking for an update on their compensation claims with the airline. CTV's Adrian Gobriel has been flooded with emails from passengers not only across the country, but across the world.
Air Canada is back in the air, though some passengers say their claims remain grounded.
They want you to give up, I think, I would say.
Nova Scotian Cindy Byrne's summer trip with her sister and parents to Ontario ended in frustration when their Air Canada flight home was cancelled.
They tried to rebook us on over 120 carriers, but they couldn't find any flights for us.
Through a quick look online, and Burns was able to book a flight home on WestJet. It cost her $5,400 out of pocket. Under passenger protection regulations, Air Canada should have been the one booking and footing the bill for the next available flight home for the Burns family.
I need to try and get this money back as soon as possible, right?
The country's largest airline says it's still working through more than 54,000 customer claims. CTV News has heard from multiple passengers who say their cases have been marked resolved, even though they haven't received their reimbursement.
Passengers have been having difficulty submitting their claims to Air Canada, both for reimbursement for expenses incurred and for compensation under the European Union's rules.
You're doing yourself a lot of damage if you don't behave fairly towards your customers.
The Offer family say they've been going back and forth with the airline since their holiday to Canada from the UK went sideways after their flight home was cancelled. They've received some compensation, but not all.
They're refusing to pay for my husband's lost wages.
It is owed under Article 19 of the Montreal Convention for passengers travelling internationally.
The Canadian Transportation Agency says an investigation is currently underway with respect to the Air Canada summer labour disruptions. Air Canada tells us that claims are expected to take between 4 to 6 weeks to process, and that the sudden August shutdown at airports like here at Pearson International have led to a significant backlog. Adrian Gobro, CTV News, Mississauga, Ontario.
The town of Tecumseh has secured a new manufacturing facility that will add 6 new jobs to the workforce. The Ontario government investing $252,000 in the company called Module X. A new 16,500 square foot manufacturing facility will construct metal prefabricated walls that act as a substitute for taping, mudding, and painting. The walls provide a controlled environment, meaning they are dust-proof and provide humidity control. They will be used in high-demand sectors like automotive, EV battery production, aerospace, and pharmaceuticals.
After COVID, a lot of vaccine manufacturer, medicine manufacturer, they required a bigger clean rooms or bigger controlled environment facility to manufacture more products or vaccine. But nowadays, semiconductors and data centers and solar industries, those are also require this kind of controlled environment so they can manufacture their product with a very efficient way.
A dog is being hailed as a hero after saving his owner from a grizzly bear attack. Mark Villani has more on the incident and why this four-legged friend is being recognized nationally.
Craig Campbell and his dog Knights are inseparable, but in May of 2024, that almost changed in the shock of their lives.
And I said to myself, I'm about to die.
Campbell was hiking along this trail northwest of Cochrane, a quiet wooded area bordered by nearby farms, when suddenly he came face to face with a grizzly sow and its 2 cubs.
She came racing out of the bush at full speed. Everything was silent, really, except for the huffing of the bear, which was so loud.
Struggling to reach his bear spray, Campbell's 10-year-old Doberman sprang into action, leaping in front of the animal that stood more than 2 meters tall on its back legs.
Giving me time to get my bear spray out, at which point I said to myself over and over, I'm going to live, I'm going to live, I'm going to live.
The bear dropped down from its legs and returned to its cubs. The life-saving act of heroism now being recognized nationally. Knight was inducted into the Purina Animal Hall of Fame.
Pets are not just pets, they are family members. And they do these beautiful, courageous, heroic acts.
I knew I had a good dog, but it's a nice recognition.
Despite the honor, there are lessons to be learned about interactions between bears and unleashed dogs.
It generally leads to a negative encounter, not a positive one.
It's why wildlife educators encourage hikers to travel in groups and keep pets close.
And that way you've got the person who has the dog, they can keep a hold of them, keep control of them, while the other people are there able to get out their bear spray, prepared to do what they've got to do to try to get out of the situation.
But Campbell says he's grateful to be alive, now living the quiet life on Prince Edward Island with Knight. Still, he's crediting years of dog training and an unbreakable bond with man's best friend.
The best dog is the dog you have in front of you.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Canada's main stock index finished in negative territory today, weighed down by the financial sector. In Toronto, the TSX lost 59 points. In New York, the Dow dropped 172, the Nasdaq fell 76. The Canadian dollar is down 1/3 cent. On commodity markets, gold lost almost $48 an ounce and oil gained $1.58 a barrel.
He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show.
A return to late night coming up. Jimmy Kimmel's heartfelt monologue and the moment that hit hardest.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. That's what I'm talking about. Beautiful fall color. Thank you, Sue, for sending in your image. Do you have a weather image that could be our next snapshot? Text it to us, please, at 10400. Just ahead, we'll talk more rain potentially tomorrow and beyond. Coming up on CTV News Windsor.
Canadian geese making their way through, I believe, a flooded field there. Now, Gary, one very localized area was hit with that heavy rainfall during the lunch hour today. What else lies ahead?
So parts of Harrow into South Essex County and some adjacent areas got into it, McGregor as well as South Buxton, but the worst of it, Harrow and Essex, and that was between 10:30 and about 11:30. By 12, we were looking at cleanup efforts and, of course, some road closures because of the localized flooding. Obviously created headaches for travelers in rural residences and residences throughout the region. We were relatively quiet. I mean, light showers in Windsor proper earlier today. Reached a high of about 22 to 23 degrees. That's seasonal for this time of year. Air quality's good. Rated at 3, just like yesterday. Lower the number from 1 to 10, the better the air quality. The temperatures are hovering around 20 degrees in Chatham-Kent. It was cloudy and rainy there too, holding at 22 at the airport in Windsor. It feels like about 27 to 28, so it's been a muggy day, obviously because of the high humidity percentages with all of the rain. The prairies are heating up. Regina's at 31 right now. Winnipeg's at 26, almost 27. Calgary's in a cold spot, so the western tier, the western tier of the prairies is cooler at 15. The spread of two areas of low pressure that came through the heart of the Ohio Valley and then moved into southern Ontario responsible for the heavy rains. We had severe thunderstorm warnings across the region. We knew the rains were coming, and quite a punch there. Again, it was so localized, and that too was what I was stressing yesterday at supper time around 6 o'clock. We knew it would come through, but isolated areas. It wasn't a blanket, a line or squall line of thunderstorms. The worst of it's well to our north and east, so traveling along the 401 headed towards the GTA and then the 400 north from there, say to Barrie, not the best drive in the next, say, 4 to 6 hours. Some showers and thunderstorm potential is still here tonight and gusty. Let's talk a little bit about the 7-day forecast, courtesy of our friends at Enercare Styles 7-day. The showers, thunderstorm potential, I think, is going to be downgraded Thursday afternoon, but looking at highs of 22, followed by 22, showers on Friday, and then sunshine. After early morning showers Saturday, we'll see a high of 24, and then mid-20s, sunny on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Temperatures will be comfortable. It looks like the weekend, the first fall weekend of the season, looks beautiful. Enjoy.
Lifetime, brought to you by Safeguard Medical Alert Systems.
Dialysis patients from across Canada can be part of a new clinical trial.
I'm a patient advisor, and this opportunity was presented to me 2 years back, and I thought it behooves me to give back to my community.
Frank Ansell is working with researchers in London who are testing a new dialysis filter they believe could help patients live longer, healthier lives. Dialysis is an essential, life-sustaining treatment for millions of people living with kidney failure. It uses a special filter to do the work of a kidney by removing waste, salt, and fluid from the blood. Researchers are also trying to determine if newer generations of filters can remove larger toxins from the blood. And if so, can the newer filters help patients live longer or stay out of the hospital and overall feel better?
We think a big part of that is that the dialysis filters are not as good as a natural kidney. There are things that they do not remove as well.
Unemotional Jimmy Kimmel made his return to late-night TV. In his monologue, Kimmel praised Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica, for forgiving the man accused of killing her husband. And as ABC's Trevor Alt shows us, he also spoke in defense of free speech.
Walking out to a thunderous standing ovation, Jimmy Kimmel returning to late-night TV after a week off the air.
Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying before I was interrupted.
Kimmel's show was suspended amid apparent threats from the Trump administration following the host's comments last Monday about the ideology of the alleged shooter in Charlie Kirk's murder. Growing emotional, Kimmel now clarifying his remarks.
I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is, you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. For those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way.
But Kimmel was also back telling jokes, taking a jab at President Trump.
You almost have to feel sorry for him. He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly.
After the taping of the show, President Trump weighing in, blasting ABC's decision to put Kimmel back on the air, saying his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny? In a statement, Disney said Kimmel's show had been suspended to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. Kimmel shedding light on what happened behind the scenes.
I was not happy when they pulled me off the air on Wednesday. I did not agree with that decision, and I told them that, and we had many conversations.
The host also thanked those who came out to support him, including his fans, his fellow late-night hosts, and even voices on the right.
Maybe most of all, I want to thank the people who don't support my show and what I believe, but support my right to share those beliefs anyway.
But not everyone was able to watch. Nexstar and Sinclair, media groups that own dozens of local ABC affiliates, are still not broadcasting Jimmy Kimmel live. Kimmel using his opening monologue to defend free speech.
Look, I never imagined I would be in a situation like this. I barely paid attention in school. But one thing I did learn from Lenny Bruce and George Carlin and Howard Stern is that a government threat to silence a comedian the president doesn't like is anti-American. That's anti-American.
93-0 coming up on Windsor's news leader. Is blowing out an opponent a bad thing for the league?
5K a day is back on 93.9.
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000
Every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
We're on the sidelines with Mr. Bob Belichico tonight. Now, Bob, I hear the St. Clair football team kind of put up like a basketball-type score over the weekend.
Yeah, it's one of those scores where you go, wow, did that really just happen? And this was all done in the first half, too. 93 points. They pounded the GTA Grizzlies. It wasn't pretty. Most of their points came from the defensive side of the ball, though, with 3 interception returns, 4 touchdowns, and 3 punt returns for touchdowns. The Saints only ran 27 plays, according to head coach Mike LaChance, who has heard the negative comments about how running up the score is bad for the league. However, take note, Okanagan last weekend scored 94 points against their opponent as well.
I think the record was set in the 1950s where somebody beat another team 107-0. So that didn't ruin the league. The league's still up. It's 2025. The league's still going strong. So I don't think that we're in danger of ruining the league by a big crooked score. And again, when you don't touch the ball much on offense, we had 24 offensive snaps and there's 93 points scored at the half. I don't know how to control that because punt returns and interception returns for touchdowns are going to happen.
All righty, moving over to the university. The Lancers football team is hosting their homecoming this weekend at Alumni Field, Saturday against Waterloo. Windsor even off their record last weekend at 2-2 with a solid win over the University of Toronto. Head coach J.P. Cercelli would like the Lancers to continue their momentum and learn how to put a team away when they have a chance.
I think the start is what we want, and we've had great starts. It's when you have a chance to really bury a team, you've got to be able to step on the gas. And when you don't do that, you let teams back into it, and it's cost us already this year. So we're hoping we find a way to play consistently 4 quarters right from the get-go to the end.
And of course, high school sports in general are back, and that means the Catholic Central football team.
Yeah, they're back in action. The football team is back on the field after a 5-year hiatus with no senior team. And it was really good to see last weekend. I was in Amherstburg to see the Comets hit the field again. They lost big to the North Star Wolves, but it wasn't that was meaningless. It didn't matter. 41-0. It was about the victory on the field for Jalil Curry and his players. Just to be on that field was big.
Man, it's honestly great. Even though we had a loss in our first game, I think we've seen a lot of good stuff, and we have a lot of potential coming up because all these guys never played football before, and we're making a lot of progress quickly.
And a lot of these kids are, ESL English is a second language, so we're just trying to teach them the verbiage and the terminology, and we're just giving them an opportunity to play the game of football.
Oh, I love it. I think it's great that Catholic Central is back. Like they're new, they're building, but the more teams that play in our league is the better.
Exciting, and the Spits also had a great weekend.
Yeah, they're back on the ice. The opening part of their season has begun, and a couple of big wins, one in Sarnia and one here at home last weekend against the London Knights. So the big shooter, Cole Davis, scoring 3 goals, adding 2 assists in an 8-1 rout against the Sarnia Sting in Sarnia. Then he scored a beauty the next day against the London Knights. His performance has earned him the OHL Player of the Week.
It was a good start, obviously. Just want to keep it rolling. Obviously, it helps when, your line mates are clicking and playing with 2 new guys, Harvey and Bex there. Didn't feel like, we even took a while to get used to each other. It felt, pretty smooth, pretty good transition, and yeah, it felt good.
This team's going to be scary when all the NHL guys come back. Then Windsor's at home for they have 3 games this week. 1 at home against Sudbury tomorrow night at the WSCU Center. They hit the road for a pair of games this weekend in Barrie and in Oshawa.
Sudbury's going to be a good test here on Thursday night, and got to make sure we practice well today and have a good start. And then we get to go on the road, and we got a lot of new guys here right now, so it's good team bonding, and we'll go into to Barrie and Oshawa and keep this thing going.
And a pretty scary moment in yesterday's Tigers game.
Oh, my goodness. My kids sent me this through a DM, and I was just shocked when I saw it. It was a very scary moment. David Fry getting hit in the face on a bunt attempt. Now, he sustained multiple fractures to the left side of his face, including his nose. No surgery, but he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. The Tigers are out of the top spot in the Central Division. That is now occupied by the Guardians. Jack Flaherty is on the mound tonight for the Tigers. And the pressure is on the Toronto Blue Jays tonight as they take on the Boston Red Sox, as they hope to keep their top spot in the American League. Man, Stefanie, this Major League Baseball, it's the last week and a lot of excitement. It's going to go right down to the wire. Who knows?
I don't think the term excitement does justice.
Well, if your team's in, everything's cool, right?
Yeah.
But right now, the Tiger fans, I mean, I can't believe we're watching this implosion in real time.
I know.
Incredible.
A lot of emotions right now.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people will be watching. Okay, do you have a story idea you think we should cover? Send it to us.
So you can text us at 10400 or send photos and video. If you see it happening in front of you, just send it to us.
Would you text your ex for $10,000? 89X is back. Listen for the keywords and text your ex. It's never been more rewarding to get back with your ex. Only on Windsor's Alternative, 89X.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. Support in honor of the ones we love with Viva Il Vino. Sunday, October the 5th, departing from their new location, the Goat Tap and Eatery, Walkerville. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kentner. And Melanie, you have an update in a stabbing on Wyandotte Street that happened Tuesday morning.
Yeah, charges have now been laid in that incident. Police were called shortly after 8 a.m. yesterday for a fight, but when they got there, they found more than that. They found a 22-year-old man suffering from 2 stab wounds. Those are believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. Police say the incident began as a verbal argument between 2 men, but it escalated. 55-year-old Lowell Campbell was arrested a short distance away. He has been charged with aggravated assault and failure to comply with a probation order. We've got those details and more online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we've also got a story online, Melanie, about the future of Windsor's Central Library branch.
Yes, work is underway to determine how the new library will look and feel. Residents got a look at the options for the layout at an open house last night. Ideas include community archives, the history branch, and a standalone branch. Residents can fill out a survey and voice their opinions until October 5th. You can find the link to that on our website. And in our social spotlight tonight, imagine getting a hole-in-one at 4 years old.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Meet Levi, who celebrated the feat with his father, then sprinted to the green at the Knoxville, Tennessee golf course. The hole was 108 yards, Stefanie.
You know what? I'm sure it runs in his blood considering he's going out and golfing at that age, but congratulations. Maybe a bright future for him as well.
For sure. He has a lot of golf games in his future, I think.
Okay, and Mel, how can viewers submit a video for a trending segment?
Yeah, you can email it to newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
Blazing bravery. 2 Leamington men found themselves in the middle of a fiery rescue. Their quick thinking turning them into heroes. Their story when we return.
The latest news to start your day.
Interviews, conversations with the top officials, the difference makers, and personalities in Windsor, Essex.
Only on Windsor, Essex #1 morning show.
It's Mornings with Mike and Meg on AM 800.
A wet one out there today for sure. Gary, I had my kids suited up head to toe in rain gear, bringing them to the bus in the morning, probably around like 7:30 or so.
That shot from flooding in Harrow earlier today, and some pockets just got some light rain, but we knew it was coming. The 7-day forecast, courtesy of our friends at Enercare, the Enercare Siles 7-day, showing you that things will improve as we head towards the weekend. We still could see some showers, maybe even some thunderstorm activity tomorrow in the afternoon, high of 23. And then it's mid-20s through the weekend. I think Friday afternoon looks good. Not bad at all for the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, we're talking sunshine from Friday afternoon through to Wednesday. That's 6 days in a row with temperatures around 23 degrees. just remember your sunscreen.
Okay, thank you, Gary. We want to end tonight with the story of a couple local heroes, 2 Sun Parlor home workers who saved a young woman's life last Monday.
I had to go through the kitchen, and I went down to, I think, to the first landing in the staircase. I was a little worried about getting my boot caught, and I just kept yelling, if anybody was in there, you better get out because the house is on fire.
On September 15th, Kevin Soulier and Dylan Montague were on their way back to work at Sun Parlor home in Leamington when they noticed flames shooting out of this home on Warren Avenue. Inside, they found a young woman asleep in the basement as smoke started to fill the home. Thankfully, they woke her up and helped the woman to escape before firefighters arrived. Once emergency crews got to the scene, Montague and Soulier simply went right back to work. I'm sure they took...
I'm not a hero. The guys and the men and women who do this every day, the paramedics, the firemen and police officers that sign up to do this every day, they're the heroes. We were just lucky that we were seeing what we seen and we were able to help.
I can't imagine being in that situation, especially when it's you and only one other individual, you know, fight or flight. Some people wouldn't have done that, and they had the courage to do it.
Yeah, true heroes, and they're one of us.
Okay.
Which is good.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca. We'll be back for your only late local news and weather.
Good night.
Good night.